What if I told you that some people once cleaned their teeth using crushed bones? Others rubbed charcoal into their mouths. Some used burnt shells, and one civilization created a tooth cleaning mixture that sounds more like a science experiment than something you'd put in your mouth. Sounds crazy, right? But for thousands of years, people had no toothpaste, no toothbrushes, no mint flavor, no whitening gel, nothing. Yet they still had teeth to clean. And they still worried about bad breath. Because let's be honest, nobody likes having food stuck in their teeth. And ancient humans were no different. So if toothpaste didn't exist, how did they keep their teeth clean? The answer is one of the most fascinating stories in human history. Because the story of toothpaste is really the story of human creativity. Let's travel back nearly 5,000 years to ancient Egypt. The Egyptians are famous for pyramids, pharaohs, and giant monuments. But they also had another problem: their teeth. You see, the bread Egyptians ate often contained tiny particles of sand and stone from the grinding process. Over time, those particles slowly wore down their teeth. Imagine eating something every day that slowly acted like sandpaper. Not exactly ideal. So the Egyptians started experimenting, and eventually, they created one of the earliest known tooth cleaning powders in history. Historical evidence suggests they mixed ingredients such as powdered rock salt, mint, dried flowers, and even pepper. Then they crushed everything into a powder. Was it pleasant? Probably not. Would it burn your mouth a little? Possibly. But compared to doing nothing, it was a huge step forward. And surprisingly, many experts consider it one of the earliest ancestors of modern toothpaste. But Egypt wasn't alone. As civilizations grew, people everywhere began searching for better ways to clean their teeth. Now let's travel to ancient Greece. The Greeks admired health, fitness, and appearance. They believed taking care of the body was important, including the mouth. Some Greeks used abrasive powders to scrub their teeth. Others experimented with crushed minerals. The goal was simple: remove food, reduce stains, keep the mouth cleaner. The methods may sound primitive today, but the thinking behind them was surprisingly modern. Then came the Romans, and the Romans took things to another level. The Roman Empire stretched across enormous territories. Ideas traveled, goods traveled, and so did dental practices. Romans used various tooth cleaning powders made from unusual ingredients: crushed shells, charcoal, and other abrasive materials. Some mixtures were designed to clean, others were intended to improve appearance. And then, there was one ingredient that shocked historians: urine. Yes, actual urine. Now, before you click away, there's a reason. Human urine contains ammonia, and ammonia can act as a cleaning agent. The Romans discovered this long before modern chemistry existed. To them, it wasn't strange. It was practical. Today it sounds disgusting. But in the ancient world, people used whatever worked. And surprisingly, Roman writers even discussed dental hygiene and mouth care, which shows something important. People thousands of years ago cared about their teeth much more than we often assume. But perhaps the most surprising part of this story is that some ancient solutions never disappeared. In fact, millions of people still use one of them today. To find it, we need to travel to the Middle East. Here, people discovered something remarkable: a simple twig, known today as the miswak. At first glance, it doesn't look impressive. No batteries, no plastic, no toothpaste, just a small stick from specific trees. But when people chewed one end, the fibers separated into tiny natural bristles, almost like a toothbrush. And that's where things get interesting, because the miswak didn't just clean teeth mechanically. The wood itself contained natural compounds that helped fight bacteria. In other words, it wasn't just a stick, it was nature's toothbrush. For centuries, people carried them in pockets, used them throughout the day, and passed the tradition from generation to generation. Even today, millions of people around the world continue to use miswak, a dental tool that survived thousands of years. Think about that for a moment. Empires rose and fell, kingdoms disappeared, entire civilizations vanished. Yet one simple tooth cleaning stick survived. That's how effective it was. Meanwhile, far to the east, China was developing its own solutions. The Chinese had long understood the importance of personal hygiene, and they experimented with herbs, natural ingredients, and aromatic plants. Some early dental cleaning mixtures contained ingredients chosen not only to clean the teeth, but also to freshen breath, which makes sense. Bad breath isn't a modern problem. It's a human problem. People worried,